Hello everyone, I'm Ryan from DL Academy, and in today's video we're going to be continuing our Python online bot for gaining Instagram likes and follows. So make sure you follow our Learn Python for Beginners tutorial on Udemy before trying to attempt any of this code. So let's get back to our program. To protect against bots, Instagram will not show you all the followers if we go directly from the top to the bottom. So I noticed that if we scroll down gently, around this point, if you notice, the bar length have changed. This means that now if we scroll down, it's going to show us followers instead of showing us suggestions. So fixing the issue will not be so hard. All we have to do is copy this bit of line, go before the for loop, create another for loop, for I in range, and let's make it go to, let's say 5. Let's say from 1 to 5 with a step of 1. Alright? Let's paste this right here, and let's create a variable, call it h equals okay, let's make this for loop go from, let's say, 10 to 5. All right, or yeah, let's try and make it go from 10 to 5. So I will be 10, 9, 8, 7, and 5. And now let's add a divide, and then brackets dot format. So we'll format the string and add the h variable. Now this should do the trick. So this should slowly scroll down by dividing by a smaller number every time. Hopefully it makes sense. Let's add a time.sleep and sleep like 1 second each time. Alright, so the problem is here the variable is called I and over there it's called h. So let's call it h because we're using it here. So now it should work. Let's try and run it. And now we will see that it will slowly scroll down, making Instagram think that this is a real user. This will they will allow us to go and view all the followers. Now let's check it out. Alright, let's change the for loop. Let's make it from let's make it for the range 0 to 10, and here instead of adding h, we'll simply say divide by 10 minus h, or 11 minus h, therefore we never have a 0, and convert it to a string just like this by typing in str. So let's copy this bit of code, paste it here, and see what happens. Okay, as you can see, it's scrolling slowly. It's going from 0 all the way to 10, then it's going to go all the way down, and as you can see now, it's loading a bunch of Instagram pages. So yes, it worked. This is great. Now we can keep loading, and keep loading all of these HTML, all of this HTML and followers. So now Instagram thinks we're a real user. So we tricked Instagram, which is absolutely amazing. Now it says list index out of range. Okay, so let's change the bit of code here where we get, so instead of finding all, let's just find all of the A tags and let's print it. Alright, add a second parentheses, and this will return something that looks kind of like this, a bit of code and then an href down there. But let's run it to see what it looks like. So now it's gonna go slowly. As you can see, the bar size has changed. So we don't even need to do it 10 times. In fact, we could probably just do it, let's say, let's do it 4 times, and then here say, no, 11 times is right. 11 times is right. Let's just say, if h equals 5, then pass or break the loop, so we don't have to go all the way to 11. Now let's go inside documents and our folder, let's type in main.py and run it again. So now this bit of code works, it's great. The next step will be to take all of this HTML, get all the hrefs and add them to a list so that we can later on go to these Instagram pages and then interact with them. Alright, so as I said, let's right click and inspect element. And now you can see we have an h2 class equals RKEOP, and then it says it contains the text, this account is private. So let's use this to our advantage. Let's create a variable, call it state, right, equals let's do the WebDriver wait, pass in self.driver. Let's wait about maximum 10 seconds until, of course, EC dot presence of element located double parentheses by dot let's say class name, and then the class name, which was RKEOP. Now we have this variable. We can, for example, say if a state dot text equals, open the quotation marks, this account is private, which was the text right here. This account is private. So if this is the text, then we'll return false, meaning that the is public returns false, meaning it's not public, therefore it's private. Else we'll simply return true. Now in case this returns an error, we can add a try except statement. If you don't know what this is, we teach this also in our Python course. Basically it's just whenever it runs into an error within the try code, it's just gonna run the except part. So except, and we'll return true. So if you cannot find this if you cannot find this object right here, this means it's most likely true, most likely a public account. Now let's create functions to like a post and a function to follow a page. So let's start by creating a function to like the post. So we'll just call it like post, pass in the self object, and then we have to find the post. So we'll just say post equals self dot driver dot find element by, let's try and find it by the CSS selector. Let's add parentheses, and this account is private, so we can't do much with it, but this is public. So let's right click and inspect. So let's do it again. It's not registering. So since it's not registering, we'll have to find it manually. Main div, it's inside this class, div. Let's open it again, the top row and first element. There we go. This is the href we're looking for. As you can see, this href links to the post right here, if you see in the a tag. So this is what we're looking for. So let's just go here on the a tag and copy the CSS selector. Let's paste it in like this. Let's create a variable called HTML equals post dot get attribute. Let's get the inner HTML, and then let's convert it to a beautiful soup object. So B with HTML and the HTML dot parser. Now it's converted to a beautiful soup object. We can simply get the href by saying href equals h, and then get the href like this. And then all we have to do is say driver or self.driver, self, let me move this a little bit to the left so you can see better, self.driver.get, let's paste https://www.instagram.com plus the href. So this will get us to the post. So now that we're inside the post, as you can see, it's just the link plus the href. We have to locate this button. So let's right click on this button. Let's copy the CSS selector once again. Let's go back here and create a variable. Let's call it like button. So like btn equals WebDriver wait. Since we're loading a new page, we have to use the WebDriver wait. Same thing as usual. ec.presence element located by .css selector, and then we'll simply paste it in. Now we have our like button. All we have to say is say like button dot click, which will like the post, and yeah, that's it. Now we have a like post function. Let's also make a follow page function. All right, so let's create the follow page function. So let's say define follow page self object, and let's go on a page. So this page, for example, let's right click on the follow button right here. Let's copy the XPath. I think I tried with the CSS selector, I was having a bit of trouble. So if something don't work, try the XPath. If that don't work, try the class name. Just anything that works. So let's create a variable called follow equals WebDriver wait, because we might be loading a new page. self.driver driver, wait 10 seconds until ec.presence of element located by xpath, and then you paste it in. Now we have our follow button. All we have to do is say get the text. So ftext equals follow the text. So this returns the text. Now we have a variable called ftext which contains the text, and we're gonna add an if statement. We're gonna be saying if ftext dot lowercase equals follow, or ftext dot lowercase equals follow back, then all we have to do is say use the follow variable follow.click. Now else if, so elif f text equals already following. This means we don't need to follow it, so we don't have to do anything. Let's just print already following, like this. Now this follows a page for us, and yeah, that's it. So we can test this. We can go on main.py. So 250k is a big number. We're not going to be able to go and get all of these, so we can just say create a for loop for I in range, and now we can create a range of like 15, so it goes from 0 to 15. Scroll down and wait a few seconds. So time.sleep 2 seconds, scroll down, sleep 2 seconds, so we can retrieve a lot of followers. And then once we scroll down here on the get followers, we have to add them to a list so we can keep track of all the hrefs. So let me go back here. Let's say we click on this, it opened the page, and we scroll down. Now we're going to be using Beautiful Soup for that. So let's right click on one of these. So okay, they're all li elements like this with the same class name. So this is very handy. Let's remember we have this pop-up variable. Alright, so let's go after the for loop. Now let's take the pop-up variable and move it under the for loop. This way the pop-up variable will contain all the HTML of these new accounts that we've been loading. Now after we've done that, we can create a Beautiful Soup object. So we're going to call it b popup, or s popup for soup, but we'll call it b, equals, use our b object, self.popup.get attribute, we get all the inner HTML, and we'll use an HTML.parser. Then we'll be saying for every popup in b underscore popup dot find all, and then we're looking for li elements with a class name of this WONIH. Let's just copy this. There you go. And here we can just say print p, for example, we can print the element, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the href, which happens to be here. So it's under div. So this is the class of the a tag that is under this li element. So we're gonna have to say p.findAll and do the exact same thing. It's an a tag, and then it has a class name of this, and we're just looking for the 0th element. Now let's go here. What we're doing is just creating the object, we're getting the followers, and we're also printing the number of followers. So let's run the program. There's an error somewhere here. This is invalid syntax. Oh, we forgot a column. You just add a column and it's gonna work. Let's run it. Let's also open the terminal so we can see what's going on. It says get pages had no attribute popup. So this popup variable has to be before and after. So let's because we're using it to scroll down. So it has to be before the for loop and after the for loop. Before the for loop so that we can scroll down, and after the for loop so that we can update the HTML. Let's run it again. So let's go here, and before we get the follower, let's just add like a simple time.sleep, like 2 seconds. Sometimes this time does sleep, just sleeping a couple seconds will fix the issue.